So we're looking here now at exploding the view to create a 2D drawing of the exploded view of the assembly. So what we do is on our main assembly here, we go over to the configuration manager. So it's the third tab over. And we only, in this instant, have a default configuration. So we're going to right click on that and we can hit new exploded view. And where exploded view options come up, we'll try to disassemble the assembly in the way that it was created nearly as such. So what makes practical sense. So we start with the clip and we can drag it along that x-axis. We can roll at the mouse at the same time and place it out there. When you're happy roughly where it is, you go write in an exact distance here, or usually you're good to go with the distance you've dragged it. Just you have to hit select done. I'm going to do the same now for the gear. Select the gear and drag it along. Drop it out there and hit done. So I'm going to do this maybe in reverse. I'm going to drop the table down now because I want to try to keep these components maybe in line with each other. So I can select the 4 wee feet that we took in, spin it around, select the feet and drag it down on the y-axis. And when I'm roughly happy with the distance there, I hit done. I pick the table next, the base, drag it down, okay, and hit done. Now just noticed that I'm not dragging all the assemblies, all the components in the sub-assembly. So for example, the feet had these nuts with them. So that's a good example maybe. So what I can do is I can go back to the steps here. So here's the first one, the second one, the third one. Okay, and you can see I've selected the 4 feet. I can go back in here now and select the 4 nuts that belong to them. Okay, now they should have went down the whole way with that. I go and select them here and here again. All right, and I'm going to drag them. I'm going to try and drag them more of a distance. Now, what they've done was they exploded in the sub-assembly state. So I'm going to hit the auto space component off. And now when I go to drag it, or I'm just clicking up the numbers there on the side rather than dragging. That's okay like that. And then I can hit done for that stage. So you can explode a single component, or the sub-assemblies normally work as a sub-component, but on the bottom here, we can select sub-assembly parts. And we need that because the way we done the block here, we would need that. So this whole block here, if I turn that off for a second, select sub-assembly parts, it means that when I go to select this whole sub-assembly, it will all go. Now I'm going to take the nuts and bolts with this sub-assembly and I'm going to try to put it out here somewhere. See how that turns out for me. Okay, and again hit done, and I'm going to do the same with this other block at the back, and it takes the bearings and everything with it because it's a sub-assembly. I have it deselected there. All right, and drag that out a bit further. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do the sub-assembly components. And let's see how that goes. So I'll hit done again, and this time I'm going to select sub-assembly parts, and I can spin around my model like this, and I can select the retaining ring as one part. The bearing, the bearing actually jumped with that. Let's just delete that from the list a second. Actually, I'll delete that again. Okay, and I'm going to just select the ring. Where did the ring go me? It's way down here. Put it down here like that. Hit done. Go in and pick in the bearing and drag it and hit done. And the second bearing that's in there, select it and drag it and hit done. Okay, so that's kind of that block exploded. You could explode this block, or maybe you might think this is enough information to give because you've shown a block exploded already. So it depends on your product, what you're doing. Now, I'm going to explode it out here just to have it done. These are in the way. They need to move out. So I can either move them again, which is okay, or I can go back to the original chain 1 and drag it a bit further. Go back to chain 2 and drag it a bit further. Okay. And then go back to my last one. All right, hit done, and it jumps me into a new command again. So now I can pick the clip at this end, drag it out, select done, pick the first bearing, drag it out, select done, hit the next bearing, drag it out, select done. The parts can be overlapping. Then I'm going to take these fasteners, these two fasteners, and bring them up like that, and hit done. I'm going to pick my wee keyway as well, drag it up a wee bit, hit done, and that's kind of nearly it. Maybe these two bolts at the back, drag them up, roll up my mouse at the same time. Probably be nice if they were the same height as these ones. I should have done them ready together. Let's hit OK. So that's kind of it done at the minute. The key thing is maybe to show how the parts go back together. Okay, and we do that with a thing called exploded lines. So in the exploded view here, there's these explode line sketch. So a classic one we could do is we could run an explode line sketch from this circlip the whole way to this circlip. Just shows everything's in line. So that's probably a pretty good one to do there for sure, and hit OK. The next one is, how do these bolts get bolted down? They go from the bolt to the hole to this hole here, and there's a kick in this hole, and that's OK. I hit OK, and I do the same, this bolt to this hole to this hole, and again it shows a wee kick, which is the block moving in, and we'll do the exact same again, this bolt to this hole to this hole, and you can edit them where you can drag the arrows and edit them, but they're working out pretty good there. So bolt again to the hole and zoom in to the hole. So I'm happy with that, and that's really all. I might just do these ones here when I'm at it and hit OK. So you have to take your time and go around them all. I just select that twice, on selects it, select the bottom one. You have to watch the direction of that wee arrow. Has to go, there's a wee reverse here if you need to reverse it. So if again, I'll reverse it now, maybe in the next one. I'll hit OK. So if I pick the plate first, for example, I'll hit reverse and the arrow goes down the way, and then I'll pick the bottom part. So it's the same thing, only in reverse. So that's kind of the part done. And let's see where we use that now in an assembly. So I can hit OK with that and exit sketch. That's the sketch that explode. Those lines will kind of disappear. I can update that and I can save my file. So I'm not going to leave the file like this. Now I can select my default configuration, an exploded view, and I can collapse it. Or I can right click and I can animate explode. So I could watch a wee movie of it exploding if I had to. And again, I can right click and animate collapse, and it collapses back together. So that's kind of it, the exploded view is done. Let's see for a second where we can use that in a 2D drawing scenario. So we'll save that, and I'll just make a new drawing from a new drawing file. Okay, this is my view here, and I'm just going to use my view palette, and I'm just randomly going to take in a view. There will be an exploded view here comes up in your view palette, but if I just pick up a normal view like this, okay, and I can show it a bit larger on scale. So I'll use a custom scale there, and maybe do 3:1, maybe even 2:1, a wee bit larger. Okay, and I'm going to hit OK with that. Now, how do I show that exploded? So I can select it here, and up in the top left hand corner I have the default configuration, the only configuration I have, but I can show an exploded view, and it jumps it into exploded view as such. So it's the same assembly I have. So I could show plan elevation or whatever in not exploded, and then this one exploded. So I can add to that by adding my bill of materials as well for the exploded view. Put it in the top right hand corner. We'll tidy that up maybe later on, and then we can individually go around and balloon all the items. Okay, now these are going to the same item numbers because they're part of the same sub-assembly. So what we'll do is we'll change this in a second. Okay, so they're different sub-assemblies. Okay, so we could manually roll them like that. When I go to explode them, it means I'm going to get these three parts of sub-assemblies as well, which isn't really ideal, but what can we do? We'll go with that. So I'm manually ballooning them here. And I would balloon all my parts, and I need to tidy up these balloons maybe later on as well. How do I tidy up those balloons? I can go in here and go to magnet line and draw a line and collect all the balloons, and either leave the line horizontal or sometimes what I can do is I can leave the line selected, the line highlights. I can put the line in line with the view, or line with the axis of the part. You'd often see that in assembly views. And same up here, let's tidy these up. So we magnet line. Okay. Get the spacing about equal for both of them. Just play with it by eye. And again, you can line these up so it kind of snaps so they're in line with each other. That's kind of a good way to do it. And you can finish it off. I probably don't have all the parts there with the base and with the foot pad as well. Okay, so this is an exploded view of the assembly and how we do it in 3D and how we do it in 2D.